I've already prepped the skin for this look. Hydration over Sharon's skin. Because I'm going in with quite a natural look on Sharon today, I'm going to literally start off with the base all over the skin, rather than going in with the eyes first. So this is sort of a medium coverage foundation. You can sort of sheer it out for the application. So I'm just working, buffing that in. A bit on the chin. Just stippling that in. Same on this side. Lovely. And then I just work and buff just a bit on the nose, just taking off any excess off that brush. So not to overload this area, because that sometimes can be one of those areas that the foundation can build up a bit more. So I'll just press that, blend that then with my finger, just working that in. Just tapping that like so. And obviously if there are any extra areas that you just want to go in with, you can just go a little bit more. Try not to take too much underneath the eye area. Just going to go in with a concealer once I've done the eyes. You can take a little bit of a wash of that, just stippling it underneath. Go in with a little bit on the forehead, just tapping that in, and then I'll always go back in towards the end of the makeup. Just go back into any key areas. Lovely. Just brush up the brows. Go in with a spoolie. And then I'll just go in and work in just with light hair-like strokes, just to add a little bit of definition here. You can always work from underneath as well, just to add in. Same on this side. You can see here, I'm just adding a little bit of a shape to the brows here. Just feather it down, the side areas, and then I'm just going to make sure, just working that, softening it out. Same on this side. Can go in a little bit stronger for the brows if you want to, just on those areas of the arch, just it and then just making sure out. And I might go in a little bit here. Perfect. Like so. Okay. Just blending that to the lid area, and I'm just going to take a little bit just on this outer edge, just so we've got a nice sort of lifting effect on the eyes. Same this side. Working that, blending that colour. Work this in between the lashes. So, just working, taking a little bit thicker, and then I like to do, certainly when I'm working with a waterproof or a stay on eye pencil or liner, just go straight in and then buff that down. Just take it a little bit thicker now along that lash line, just adding to where I've already put it. Lovely, if you open for me, Sharon. Brilliant. And then close again. And this outer edge, because I want it to look quite soft, I don't want it to be necessarily a kind of a flick or anything. Just going to soften that out, and I'll do the same then. Just adds, or I'll do the same with a bit of eyeshadow, powder eyeshadow, and then I'll just extend it out slightly in a minute. And then sometimes what I'll do is just lift the eye like that, and just work a little bit more in between, just so when you open the eye, got a little bit more definition there. Lovely. If you open for me, look straight ahead. That's great. And then close again. And I'm just going to do exactly the same on this side. Just working that in, taking it along between the lash line. And then go straight in with that buffing brush. Obviously, if you've got a normal sort of kohl pencil, you could do this sort of, you know, rather than do one eye at a time, you can do both together. Just work that in. And again, I'm just going to take that just a little bit, extend it out. Again, I'm not after a flick or anything, I just want that just to soften it out. So, and then with this, go back in, just take it a little bit thicker along here. So I've got a little bit more definition there. Just take it just a little bit thicker there. Brilliant. You open your eyes for me. Perfect. And you can see there. And then it just means with these areas here, I'm just going to go in with a bit of eyeshadow and just add in and extend that line just along so we've got a lovely silhouette of shadow there. So just taking a smaller brush, and then I'm just going to work just sort of a browner, so this sort of colour here, just working that in. It's a little bit of a warmer, could also go in with a darker if you wanted to intensify it. Lovely if you close your eyes for me, and then just taking that just slightly above, taking that liner, and then this is where I'll just extend it out, and then again I'll just go back in. You can see there, just extend that out. I'll do exactly the same on this side, just working just above where I've put that long lasting liner, and then just so I'm nice and even, it's just going in that more lifting. It doesn't matter if you are a little bit thicker there, because I'm just going to buff that out anyway. Same that side. And then taking a buffing brush, and then I'll just buff that out, just really soften that down. Same on this side. Okay. You open for me, perfect. And then I'm just going to build on that, so I'm going to go in with a little bit of that same colour. And you can also go in with more, what I call more of a sort of a contouring colour, so this matte colour, so I'll work a mixture of these two. And then just work a little bit here, just slightly above the socket here, just lifting the eye, and then where I've taken that eyeshadow, just then joining the two together. So softening that out. And just taking a little bit into this inner area here, but I've got hardly anything on the brush, just what I've got left over. Lovely if you open for me. It's perfect. See, and then I'll just feather that out, that side area there. Same this side. Doesn't matter if you go in a little bit stronger, because you're just going to buff that out anyway. You can see there. Just really go in with my other brush, because that's got hardly anything on there, and then use that just to buff that out. That's brilliant, Sharon, if you open, look at me, brilliant. And then I'm just going to lift the eye, just really make sure that this area here is nicely blended. So the same this side. It's great. And obviously by the time I've then gone in with a bit of concealer underneath, I can really sharpen that line a little bit more as well. And then I always like to go in just a little bit of highlight as well in this area, so I'll do that towards the end. Just want to make sure that it's going with a little bit more here. The brows. So I'm just taking a little bit of concealer, just using the corner of that brush, and then just working a little bit of this, just tapping This is a really lovely sort of lightweight concealer, so it's not too heavy around the eyes. So I'm just gently tapping that into that area first. Same on this side. Just working that in. Just gently tapping that. So taking that concealer and then just really going along this area here, and then just tapping that along. So really tapping that down, and then the same on the other side. Taking just a little bit there. And then in a minute I will take a little bit of eyeshadow just underneath the eye. Just making sure I'm buffing that down. So, and then taking a little bit of that shadow. In fact, I'm going to go in just with this really lovely contour shading colour. And then just work that underneath the eye area. Look up for me. Great. Just working that. Lovely. Brilliant. And then going in with a slightly darker colour now, just along the lash line, just underneath. Just taking that darker colour. Perfect. You can go just a little bit on this inner area here. Let's try and do that quite quickly, and you can see there. And then this is where with the eyes, I always like just to go in, just really buff a little bit more down. If I feel it's looking a little bit strong on one side than the other, just to get that nice and even. And then this is where I'll add a little bit of highlight now. And you can go in either with a separate highlighter. So this one here is it's got quite a nice sort of sheen. I quite like going in with creams as well. So this one has got a really nice highlighty effect. Put that in onto the lid. So if you look, close your eyes, that's perfect. Add a little bit here, a little bit of sheen. So, perfect. If you look down, don't worry if you need to blink. Just going to add, starting off at the roots. Same this side. It's really going into that root area and then combing through. And then if you look straight ahead for me, and then I love just going in, just separating the bottom lashes. Lovely. And for Sharon's skin, because she's got quite a nice sort of olive sort of undertone, I'm going to go in with a nice bronzer now. Just going in with a cream. So just taking off the excess on my hand. Just working that in. Now I see where this is sort of a gel consistency. Can really press this into the skin. Really merge it with that base. I might go in with a bit of that highlight as well. And go along temples. Same this side. Add a little bit of warmth to the chin as well. So what I've got left on my hand, just to take it down to the neck area as well. And I might add a little bit more, just onto the neck, like so. And this side. And I love going back in, so at this point you could go back in and just retouch any areas with that little bit of base that I've got left. So sometimes I'll go back in, just maybe use a little bit on these sort of key areas here, because I want the makeup to last around there. Same as the forehead, centre area. And then I'm going to work a little bit of blush now over the top, because obviously I've gone quite warm on the eyes, warm on the cheeks. So I'm just going to work in just kind of like a dusky sort of rose tone, and just work a little bit of that just over the top there. Amazing cheekbones, so absolutely beautiful. Just going to work a little bit of colour just over the top of the bronzer. Just to add this as well if you want to. Kind of brings it together a little bit. So now I've prepped Sharon's lips with a little bit of balm, so I'm just going to work in a lip pencil now. Just working this. I'm just going to work that in. And actually the same colour that I've used on the cheeks, I might go in the lips as well. Just going to work a little bit of liner. Just in with my fingers actually, because this is quite a matte colour. I'm just going to work that onto the lips. Lovely if you press your lips together, perfect. And then I want to work in just a little bit more of a neutral now, just over the top of that. So I'm just going to work now just over the top. Then add this one here. So just adding that over the top of that. Sometimes just like to go with my finger and just blot that. So again, you're just layering, certainly for the lips, if you want it to last longer. I mean, obviously you can get long wearing lip stains and lip oils now, but sometimes if you want to change up from sort of day to evening, it's kind of nice, certainly to go in for quite a natural. It just sort of wears off throughout the day, and then you can always retouch up again, so you're really hydrating the lips. Okay, so I like to go back in, and then I'm just going to add just a little bit of a touch more blush, cheek area, so. Before I then go in and just set that now with my powder. So just taking a smaller brush again, pressing that to those areas. Setting the makeup. I want it to look really sort of glowy in these areas. Let's go back over the top. And obviously I love going in with a bit of a setting spray as well to finish. Underneath the eyes. So into sort of key areas, I'm just going to go in with a little bit of that highlight. Let's work a little bit here. Same here. And you can always go a little bit on the nose area. So, and then finishing off with a bit of setting spray. So, lovely.